I mean, my life changed, man. Like it changed for real because you gotta think about it, man. My retirement and my check was getting state tax. Well,
Mm,
Texas ain't got no state
Right.
tax, man. So
right.
I mean
Same
that
thing with Florida.
man, that was like almost immediate. Man, that was immediate, man. I'll say that. That was a nice return.
Immediate change.
And then even the cost of living, man, until old Biden came in and hit us with this inflation and we starving right now. It was it was affordable, man. Like even that's just quality of life, man. Quality of life. In Cali, man, unless you got some money, if you don't live in like the AV, man,
but
you surviving. It's all
still,
right.
in Cali, um, living there is like you're like throwing away money. You feel me?
Yeah.
Uh, your money is not as long as any of these other states that you can live in, live freely. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody watching your back on what you're doing, and your money is stretched long.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's got everything,
I
man. It's
mean, and
got
that
like
just makes sense.
man, it's got like everything that people say, oh, California is this. Minus beaches. They're like, they ain't got no beaches. But you got Six Flags down the street. Man, I got like what, two in and outs around the corner, like a minute away. Like you got all the niceties of California, man.
Right.
It just I don't think it make unless you from California, that's your thing. I don't think it make no sense to still be in California, man. Go
No,
to Florida or Vegas or Texas or something, man. You gotta get out of them states.
I'm not moving anywhere from Tampa anytime soon. I'm cool.
Oh, yeah, you're in Florida too.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, Florida, like I say Florida, the Cali of the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? That's the and plus, I mean, I think the vibe and the freedom in Florida is even better than Cali too, because even when I went out to Santa Monica and went down to the beaches in LA, it wasn't like wasn't nobody out there with no grills, wasn't nobody out there with no coolers. You know what I'm saying? It was just all like people working out, jumping on strings and doing, like it didn't seem fun. It didn't seem fun
R-
like a southern beach. You know what I'm saying? Like when you out
Right.
there just on a beach in the south or in Florida somewhere. Um, so I mean, yeah, like that was a big reason for me kind of like, after I stayed there, I retired in 2017 and I stayed out there until 2019, but really when it came down to kind of seeing, and I always had in my mind that, maybe, it wouldn't be the place that I stay in for good, but at least I had to give it like one good try, especially, for a stand up, it's like, hey, there's plenty of stages
Yeah.
out here is where, this goes or whatever. So that's why I was like, out there trying to give it a try, but at the same time, you know, like it's expensive as hell, and your retirement dollar and just your dollar in general doesn't go as far, and even just to, because I'm from Mississippi, so to get back to see family for holidays or for this or for that, it's either
Yeah.
a day long drive or, $2,000 in plane tickets or whatnot.
Right. But
This
you closer now. You
Johnny
still in
Payton's
Atlanta,
still out there
right?
trying to make it though. He don't want to give it up. I'm like telling him, like, man, you better go and get up
this
out of there.
does Cali still have that comedy scene on? Especially with like social media now? Is it
Well, I
still that
mean,
same?
during the pandemic, actually, I think a lot of communities branched out to Texas. A lot of
Yeah.
came down to Houston and other places. I mean, the scene is still kind of there, but I feel like it was even Atlanta. Like I'm in Atlanta now, and that's kind of like the small Hollywood right now because I probably for producing the movie and making the movie, all the taxes and everything that you gotta make out there in California, you don't have to deal with here and everything like that. So, um,
Well, most people that are
I don't think
producing
it'll.
movies, they're they're focusing more on producing them and filming them in Atlanta. It.
Right.
it's way cheaper. The studio time, all the sessions, everything is way cheaper than doing anything in Studio
Mm-hmm.
City, Hollywood. You know, they're all venturing away from that and going
Yeah.
other places. You know,
Right. So I feel like I don't know if it'll ever lose the total luster of what it is. There's always going to be to keep that status of whatever it is. But I mean, like, I feel like people are just going to pop in and pop out. Cali's a nice place to visit. You know what I'm saying? If even though, like you got to be a millionaire to live there. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll just leave that. That's the VIP. You know what I'm saying? Put that red rope on the board of Cali and just call this the VIP section of America. You balling like that, y'all go over here. The rest of us gonna stay
yeah.
over here, and make do with what we got.
Well, majority
Cause
of them cats that live in California, they all stacked and racked with say somebody purchases a house or one renter goes in, and then you'll have like 6 or 7 roommates. That's how you survive. You all break down all the bills and everything
Right,
together, and you can stay there. But you got like 8 families up in the house.
yes.
right. It's still the quality
Like
of
who?
living, the cost of living is
Yeah.
is extreme. So, um, I mean, and yeah, like living in AV, I don't know. I never once I retired and got out, I really didn't. I wanted to get away from the AV a little bit anyway, because there's really, wasn't nothing going on up there that I really
Yeah.
wanted to have going on. Besides, still affiliated with the base or something like that. But I'm liking Atlanta so far. I'm coming up on a year here in Atlanta, and it's okay. It has its downfalls and everything like that. But like I said, if
Have
you
you
stay
have
away
you
from the
been getting
trouble,
into
you
the
away from the
comedy
trouble.
scene there?
I touched on it. I haven't been on stage myself, but I just when I got here, I hooked up with a bunch of comedians that are from the local area and got to see the behind the scenes and how they do things and hit a couple of spots. So it's just kind of like now it's a matter of me getting out there and doing what I got to do. It was a lot easier, prior to now, because like I really, from that little time that I worked in Cali up until 2019, and I was kind of like just not even working. So all I could just focus totally on comedy. But then I moved to Atlanta. I got this job, trying to get in good and get situated with that. And I mean, I work pretty much 7 to 3 Monday through Friday, so it still allows me the time to go out and hit stages and stuff like that. But then, saying my daughter came, and then this and that and that and this, saying, and I'm gonna do it next
Mm-hmm.
week, turns into a month, turns into, damn near a year. But I went out last night, saying? And so after this first year of just getting in and getting settled and learning my way around and, having an ear to the ground and seeing what's going on, coming up the turn of the year is when I'm really gonna get out there and get back getting on stages and making connections and making things happen. So
Man, it seems like Atlanta is the new comedy hotspot. Like with the 85 South show and all them dudes. Like because I was thinking with Rogan
right,
leaving, and then with Dave Chappelle and Rogan doing that thing where they just Dave just set up at his farm and hold a show. It seemed like they kind of got away from that Comedy Store
right,
LA thing. But then you see the 85 South show, and it seemed like they
yeah,
they the new thing now, the next era of
right,
comedians.
Well, weren't
And
they touring together a little bit?
right,
yeah, but they stuff is just organic, man. It seemed like they just improv the whole thing, and it
Mm.
works. It seemed like they just sit
right,
around and talk shit, and it works.
right. It works. I mean, there's everybody's like when you're doing that, your part, your role, and this when you improvising like that, is just kind of when somebody else puts something. If you ever watch them, like if somebody else puts something out there, it can be going this way, and then the other one will pick up on it and lead it this way,
Yeah,
and another pick up on it and lead it this way. It's kind of like you always add to it. You don't never take away from it, or what I'm saying, because then it'll end up dead in the water. But it's like
yeah,
as long as you can it's like a big thing in improv is to and then, you know, So if I say, man, I went down to the store, then you'll be like, and then you did this, and then Luke will be like, and then you did that. But some people who want to try to be funny on their own. If I say I went down to the store, and then you say, nigga, you didn't go to no store, you was over here, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? You just take off on your own and like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we supposed to do with that? So it's kind of like that's the formula. That's the secret formula of improv and trying to just keep it flowing and always just add to it and keep it light. So when they do it,
stories, you know what I'm saying, and that shit had me bugging out, bro. Like, you know what I'm
what'd you
saying,
say?
just. I said, all you have to do is tell real life stories, and that should be having me bugged out. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
I'll be cracking up, just dying laughing, like, yo, like this can't be true. It's just like, us being sick. Like if we told any type of story about security,
Is he freezing up for you too?
Yeah, I was thinking. I was like, I wonder if it's me, but
Yeah, I mean that's a big part of it. It's kind of like the real life stories and our experiences from the military. You can't make it up, and a lot of people wouldn't even believe it. They don't know stuff like that goes on. But yeah, it's fun. So, but speaking on comedy and the likes, did y'all watch Dave Chappelle's new
yeah, I
special?
watched that. Oh yeah, man, I probably watched
yeah,
it 8 times, man.
I probably watched
Yeah,
about 5 times.
Yeah, I love Dave, man.
you like
Yeah,
it? Is on
yeah,
point, right?
he put it
I
down.
like it. Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, like, Dave, he always be hitting you with some real life stuff to think about. You feel me? Um, it's not just like overly aggressive. He's just being real. He's gonna let you know how he feels. And it's comedy at the same time. People can't get upset, and mad and aggressive because he's a comedian. You can just turn it off. You don't have to watch it. It's somebody's opinion. You feel me?
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
And if you can't understand that it's a joke, you know what I'm saying? It's a joke. Like even when he was talking about the Me Too movement and then how he flipped and be like, let a man lead it, but at the end of the day, you gotta suck my dick. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
they're gonna get
the,
offended,
the
but
whole
it's
lead
a
up to that
joke.
was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The lead up to that, I was like, where's he going with this? You know what I'm saying? He was like, I'll personally take on the responsibility.
Yeah.
But it's a joke, but it's at the same time there's an element of truth to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it just is what it is. But and it's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. You got to be able to take a joke. And I mean, no doubt what he's saying through the whole thing is like that whole community sometimes seems like y'all can't take a joke. You know what I'm saying? We all out here, we joke about everybody, we joke about everything. And if you really listen to him, he's not punching down, he's not criticizing, he's not doing any of that. Like,
No.
I'm just here making fun of life. And that is what it is. If you can't laugh at yourself, then you really, really got issues. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's kind of saying what everybody's thinking too. Like you gotta understand, because he
Right.
wasn't punching down, but he's talking to a community that's kind of a minority, a small little group of individuals that's been kind of shaped everything up.
Right.
Where, man, this thing is gonna. I don't know. This thing gonna be crazy in 5 to 10 years, man. I don't even know what this thing's gonna look like
Yeah,
because of what
What is
we're allowing to happen.
right. I mean, I don't think I mean, like I think Stu, you said you lost hope like 2 years ago, huh?
Yeah, man. That's why I've been buying guns, man. Y'all been laughing. I've been buying guns,
hey,
generators,
I,
and
I've been buying
survival
guns
food.
too. This Florida thing ain't for nobody soft. You feel me?
Right.
Man,
Hey,
y'all.
stacking up ammo. Saying keeping my collection up. You feel me?
Right.
So
You
it's
Everybody's been
pass them
laughing, man.
billboards. gun
Oh yeah.
show, December 11th through the 12th. Okay, I got you. Snap.
Yep.
I'll be
I got you.
there. I will be there. You know, I mean, and just I don't know. You know, I feel like there's a lot of talk of hope, and there's a lot of, you know, that's just what it has come to, you know, here in America. Like, you know, a whole lot of talk, but then when it really comes down to it, ain't nobody changing really for real, you know. And it's just kind of the okay. So now this whole new variant of COVID, you know. So now everybody got their, you know, you went out and got vaccinated, you went out and got this, you went out and got that. Now this deadly one, which I don't even understand. Like, you know, I guess maybe being from the military. So if you got the Delta variant, I feel like it should go Echo, Foxtrot, Hotel, India. You know what I'm saying? Go down the
Yeah.
line. But no, what the fuck is an Omicron or what? Like, why you? What is this?
Like,
Well,
why did they even come up with
you
that
know,
term?
well, you know where they got that from, right? Because the next name on the list was Wu, but China's president is Wu. So
Okay.
look this up. This is true. So they skipped over that name, and that was the next name on the list. They have this like weird list. So the Omicron or whatever it's called, that's the next on the list. But I mean, this is what it's gonna be, man. This is. I think this is just what's gonna be. I think this thing that shifted, and I think this is just what's gonna be, man. Like I
Do
think
you think
I don't.
like, and then I hear like the only way they can detect it, or what they got to do is genetic sequencing and stuff. Like, it's getting all in genetics and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's
Well,
different for
they can genetic sequence they probably already genetic sequenced the actual variant, so they can do that within days. But you got to understand, they're still testing the Delta variant vaccine. So the vaccine that's going around is the
right,
original Corona vaccine, or whatever the thing. I don't know if
right,
we could say this on YouTube. So right now they're
right,
still testing the Delta variant. The Delta variant hasn't even gone out yet. So this new variant, even if
right.
they genetic sequence, it's going to take time to even test it. So this is something that I think, like, look at Florida. Florida didn't play this game. Florida has the lowest cases.
Well, I mean,
Florida's the
look who our
governors.
governor is. You know, we got Ron DeSantis out here, you know, making boss decision moves. You
Yep,
feel me?
he set up treatment centers. He didn't set up vaccine centers. He set up treatment centers. Look at what's going on. They have the lowest case numbers. That's the plan. Like we've done this long enough where we kind of see which strategy is working. But because we are what we are and we're conditioned, they've got us conditioned now. There's going to be 3, 4 other. I mean, this is just going to go on. This is the game now. Like, and because they're deep, like this was crazy. So at work, I track this stuff, right? I track all the variants. I track like all the events, right? Like a CSC kind of thing, really. So right now, we're about to talk about the CNN thing. Right now, the entire world is protesting. Every major country has a protest of over at least 100,000 people. The news is not talking
You know,
about it.
for some topic, some reason.
Man, like you can probably cut on the news right now. They're talking about January 6th.
Yeah.
Something that took 2.5 hours. When the entire world is protesting right now, and they're not even discussing it. Like that's why I said it's at a point now where I kind of gave up on the thing. I kind of gave up on black people. That's where I'm at, because that's my team. So I kind of gave up on them because I'm like, hey, everybody, some crazy shit's going on, and everybody's like, man, shut up, you crazy. But yeah, this is going, man. I think this is the new normal. I think this is the new normal. Because think about it. When the last time you heard of a flu?
Nah, the flu went away when everybody started wearing masks. You feel me?
The
But
flu flew
everybody wearing
away.
masks. Where the flu flew away. The flu been here 100 years and somehow just flew away.
Yeah,
And
it
we
just
still
went
and
away.
we still playing the game. Like we still sitting back saying, "Yup, we playing." You know what's crazy? I don't even want to play the game, but I had to play the game.
Yeah.
Right.
I had to play the game because they said, "Hey, we're gonna fire you on the 8th if you don't play the game." And
Hey,
I'm like, "All right,
we can take that suspension. You know what I'm saying? Like
yep." I'm like,
Antonio
"Yeah."
Brown. You
I'm
take
like,
that
"Hey, I gotta."
take that knee like Antonio Brown.
No, can't do it, man. I'm like, my bills are due on the 8th, so I gotta go play the game, man. I think this is the new normal, man. This is just
Yeah.
what we're gonna do, and it
But
ain't nothing we
Stu,
can do
you
about it.
didn't
But
think
I
it was a
mean, like,
big deal, though. I mean,
is it
like,
real though? I mean, because all they gotta do is say, hey, there's a new variant and it's called blah blah blah, and then there it goes. Is it
I
real?
think
Is it fake?
I think viruses are real. Like viruses
Right,
are real, man. People catch flu. People get pneumonia. People get viral infections. That's just the way the world works.
right.
So viral infections are I think. I mean, I'm not no doctor, no virologist, but viral infections are real. Now, the one that they put a name on it and have everybody scared, is that real? I don't know. It's a viral infection. I think that's real. But to say, like, what if they said, hey, it's this new super
But
flu?
is it any different than anything else? Because like any other virus that came before this goes along that pattern and mutates and does that same thing. But
Yep,
now,
that's what it
and
is.
the common everyday man, the layman doesn't understand. They know it, but you don't know it like that. So now if they're gonna focus in so specifically and say, hey, this mutated into this mutated into that, and blah blah blah, and kind of add the drama to it, add the fear and the suspense to something that has been going on for years and years and years
Yep.
to make people feel like, wow, this is new, this is different. No, it's not. It's not anything new. It's not any different. That's the nature of a virus. It just kind of lives and then it mutates and just lives like cockroaches. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, hey, if the world ends, roaches still gonna be around. You start spraying them with raid, they get used to that. You start spraying them with this, they get used
Yep.
to that. They still mutate, transform, or
they
whatever.
they all gonna adapt and overcome.
And the thing is, as a
Right,
virus mutates, it weakens. So they asked the doctors, and of course the news ain't playing this again. They asked the doctors, in South Africa, what are the symptoms? And they're like exhaustion, and like you're gonna be tired and a headache. Nobody's dying from it. Like nobody's died from this variant yet. So
right,
But
even I
Stu,
mean,
so
I
like
think it's new.
when you had to, play the game and go get the shot and everything else, I mean, I went and got vaccinated as well because I mean, being in the military, like we had all types of shots. You know what I'm saying? Like I had 9 anthrax shots. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep,
what
me
is
too.
one
Yep.
shot, saying gonna do when
right,
we're getting all types of stuff? The last 20 years we've been forced every single year to get that flu shot. You come
Yep.
up red on the board. You know what I'm saying? And you have to go over there and get the flu shot now. And
right,
whatever other shots, and smallpox vaccinations and all the other, giddy up that they gave us. So I mean,
right.
you
And
know,
the
with
higher you go in rank, the more the closer to the front of the line you gotta be, just to lead by example and blah blah blah.
Hmm.
right. So I mean, how did you feel about just going ahead and getting the vaccination?
I mean, I didn't really. No, I didn't. I personally didn't like it. I personally didn't like it because, and this is why I personally didn't like it. So I got the anthrax. I got all that stuff, right? When I went to go do my, you do your disability thing, whatever. The one thing they didn't, they questioned everything. They questioned the knee surgeries. They questioned everything. The one thing they didn't question is Bell's palsy. So I caught Bell's palsy, right? And they
Hmm.
connected it to my vaccine sheet. Because my vaccine sheet, I got anthrax, I got everything. Like my sheets was like super long. So that's the one thing they was like, oh, okay, we got it, and they put it on there. So
Mm-mm.
they know this kind of stuff is out there. So I didn't like it, but it was just like I got to pay the bills, man. And
Yeah,
this is just the way it's
Right,
going. Like it's just the way it's going, man. And it's weird how humans operate, man. Like you sit back and you think, man, like when they was like these bathrooms are for coloreds, or you can't come in
mm,
this, you can't drink from this water fountain. And then you see how you take the race away, and then you see how people treat the vax and the unvax.
right.
right,
And
right.
you forget now at the time color was the thing, but now vaccination is the thing.
Or
And
Right.
or
nobody,
people
nobody's,
wearing
yeah,
masks, or
yep, nobody sees the connection. Like nobody sees. Now I think it's real. I do think it's real. Like I still,
I
man,
think they
I
see
tell
it,
you,
but they don't want to admit it.
I
and this
think
thing
there's
is
just
wild, man.
I think there's a lot more to the whole virus that they don't want to communicate and put out to the public. You
Oh,
know,
of course. Yeah, of
so
course.
you know,
There's so many things, Yeah, of course.
I
Like
mean, it's
this,
just like aliens, Stu. You know, I've heard you talk about aliens in the flight chief office, like I don't even know how many times. You feel
and
me?
what they say 8 months ago.
Hey, hey,
And
They
then
said,
the
"Hey,
real,
this is
hey,
real."
that
they
shit
here.
out there.
Like, yeah, but this vaccine over here. So nobody even paid attention to it. Nobody even paid attention to it, man. Like, I think this is just the way it is, man. This is the way it's going to be. And it sucks, but this is the way it's going to be, man. Until maybe this thing flips
Until when?
politically.
I mean, but if it's gonna be this way, then this is gonna usher in something else. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna
I,
usher in that shit that you see in movies when it's like these people on the inside and living in the cities and these people not, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
this is so. Check this out. This is a crazy opinion of mine. Matter of fact, this opinion got me banned from got me blocked from Tariq Nasheed a couple days ago. I swear to God, Tariq Nasheed blocked me, man. We're gonna have to. This is some crazy shit, but we're gonna have to go back to the Republican way of life, man. Like you look at Texas, you look at Florida, you especially look at Florida. You see how they dealt with things. So these other people came along and said, "No, we want to keep you locked in. We want to make you do this." And they always have this little like treat in the bag that if something goes wrong with their other decisions, they can always pull this out. And what I mean by that is like gas is stupid. Inflation is high. Like the whole Afghanistan mess, like everything, like the whole border thing, everything is like going wrong. And they got this little treat where they can just say, "Hey, we got a new variant," and everybody shut up. And if you say anything about it, social media pulls you down. They block your accounts. They ban you. It's like one of these things where we are really going into the real world Hunger Games,
Mm,
where the top
Right.
people control this whole thing. And then you got to think about it, man. Like who gets demonized? Like who gets demonized, man? Like I don't know, man. It's so frustrating for me, man, because it's so frustrating because I lost friendships, man. I lost family members that was like, "Man, you crazy? Get the hell out of here." I got cussed out on last Christmas Day because I'm like, man, maybe we should stick with the orange man because this other dude, man, seems like he gonna come mess things up. And they talking crazy with the whole virus thing, and everybody's like, "Man, get out of here." But now we're in this world now where it's like this, and I think it's going to get worse. Like if you want to see where I think we're
But
going to be, look at Australia. Like Australia right now has people in COVID camps. Like
you said
people are
what?
trying to
I couldn't hear you.
right
wow.
now in Australia, people are locked up in COVID camps right now, enforced by the military right now. People are trying to escape COVID camps right now
That's
in
wild.
Australia. Right now, Australia has multiple protests going on. They're trying to the people are rising up across the world. The people are rising up. There's one country, major country, where the people ain't rising up, and it's us. We watching the Georgia and Alabama
But
game.
I mean,
Like, why they getting to it? Why they
but
getting to it?
we got our own. I don't know. I think the way, especially, and then two here, because it wasn't there just a school shooting the other day, and the parents ran away with the kid, or something like that.
So
Well, the thing was during that school shooting, after the child had told the parents what had happened, they had like text communication, like, "Hey, well, we should, you know, you should be a little bit smarter and not got caught." You feel
I
me?
got caught. Yeah.
Instead of like, "Hey, you need to turn yourself
Right.
in," like that's the way they had played that out. And they charged them with the manslaughter as well, which is they should have.
Yeah, they got him at the school, but when they saw those text messages, they went to go get the parents, and then they took off, and then they ended
hmm
up catching them or whatever.
Yeah, they didn't get far.
But
Yeah.
but the way, okay, so it's kind of like compare that situation to Columbine, which was one of the first school shootings, and how the world reacted to Columbine versus how they reacting to this. It's just kind of like, all right, another school shooting, kind of, buzz around, but it's still not the maybe not as many people got shot or not, but that's just how I feel like America and the media kind of just puts it there, so people become numb to certain things, or people become, hey, they'll read the headline a little bit and talk about it a little bit, but then the next headline pop up and whatever was happening then is forgotten about, and you on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, to where, like you're saying, the real world Hunger Games is happening, but people are so ignorant to kind of looking at the details and getting their own information and thinking for themselves that they don't see it. Like, they're not going to see it until it's as drastic as Hunger Games was. No, this is what this is now. This is how this starts. This is what's going on now. Subtly, quietly, kind of you playing along with it, It's kind of like,
Right.
just like we were talking about, and if before the pandemic hit, if we were all sitting around talking and being like, man, I went into Target and they told me I couldn't buy but 2 rolls of paper towels. Before the pandemic hit, you would have been like, what? What?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
But
saying? You would
what
have
was the
been
big deal about
furious,
the
and you would
paper
have been
towels?
mad,
But like, why were
Who
they all spazzing
knows?
about the
That was
goddamn paper towel?
It's a
just
comfort
how
item, man.
it got put out there. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's just what people start putting, like the movie. Oh, the shelves are empty. This, and that. And so if you shoot that image out to people, that's gonna make the other person want to go out and make sure that they got paper towels too. You know what I'm saying? It's just that how the programming goes. Just how, regardless of, even when they say how subliminal advertising and branding and stuff can be, how subliminal it can be. And even though personally I feel like I'm immune to a lot of it, I do find myself, believing, like, if the right ones or the certain ones can make me go buy something that I really at the end of the day probably didn't need or didn't really want, or would have did, went and bought another brand of the same thing that wasn't this one. But something about you made me believe that you really like this product, so I'm gonna get it too. You know what I'm saying? You made me
Right.
believe that this was really necessary, so I'm gonna do that too. And that's just how, it goes, to where, and it becomes the status quo, to where, like, if you're going against the grain, then you're out. You're not. You're crazy. You're this. You're that. Because that's just how it is. And so, even though the three of us might not see the importance of paper towels, I guarantee during the beginning of the pandemic, if we went into the grocery store, we still kind of thought, like, hey, maybe I should go see if they got some paper towels a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's still
Well, me
gonna
with the
affect you.
kids, what I'm saying, I was like more important, like, yo, I need to get these wipes, I'm saying, my son shit his pants, what I'm saying, I
Right,
need to like be quick on the move, you feel me? So it was
right.
like when everything was just transpiring, I was like, yo, like these guys are like savages. This is like, like a TV show, like for example, they have a new one on Apple TV called Extinction. I don't know if y'all seen it yet, but that's just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, the aliens, are trying to take over. You feel me?
Yep.
And it's like everybody's trying to like get food, essentials, and it's end of the world type situation. You know what I mean? So everybody's fending for themselves. Not necessarily toilet paper, but it's they out there grinding to get what they need.
I,
But I felt
I
like
mean,
that in some sense, going to the store and I'm seeing all these, cleaning products done, people getting gas, what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I can't even get
Right.
gas right now because the gas is running out. There's no toilet paper,
Because at
there's
the
no
end of the
cleaning
day,
products. I'm like, damn,
especially
like,
at the end of the day, if you got a family, if you got a wife, you got a kid, you got a family, you got people to take care of, regardless of, like, what you might believe, even if you think it's bullshit, hey, no, we're not gonna be without, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna get us because we need to get us. Y'all getting y'all, we gonna get us. I'm gonna make sure me and mine's taken care of. We ain't gonna come out here having to borrow shit from this one, and having to negotiate. I mean, and until it comes down to that, but I got to do what I got to do for mine, even though I don't understand why you're doing this. Hey, I'm gonna get mine too.
right,
I think it showed how fragile society is. I think we forget. Like, all right, going back to school shootings, I don't pay too much attention to the school shootings. To be honest with you,
Well,
there's
well,
like
Stu,
900. There's like
I don't. I just read this the
925.
other day, Stu.
Uh,
Like
what's up?
it said, I don't know how true this is. I know you're good on facts and doing your research and running down information. But they said it was over like 300 shootings just this year.
No, so there's been 28 school shootings, and that's 925,000 public schools, give or take.
God,
28. So the chances of you, it's like that's like 0.28%, like some crazy low amount. Now, what I'm worried about is the shootings. Like when you look at Chicago, and I say Chicago because I know the numbers. Chicago, 60 black babies have been killed this year. It's been over like 11. I think it's 1,160 shootings with like I think like a little bit under 500 juveniles have been killed. That's not even on the news. Like I understand the school shooting is like a huge thing, but almost every weekend, Chicago, has
lit up.
3 or 4 shootings, and Chicago's 10th on the list. St. Louis is 1 on the list. So the same thing happens there, just like in Tennessee, like in Memphis, when Dolph got killed. It was a well-known fact. Oh, Memphis, there's about to be a war in Memphis, and we accepted it. We accepted it. We just was like, all right, cool. Like I got in a big spat with and which is like reason I've been getting blocked all week, man. Because I've been telling people like, I've been telling people like,
yeah. He said he'd been blocked all week.
I've been getting blocked all week. I've been getting blocked all week because I'm like sitting here saying like, because the school shooting in Oxford, people try to make it a spinoff of Rittenhouse. Like, the Rittenhouse thing happened. Now all these white people are going to start shooting black people, even though there was no, black victims in the Oxford thing. So then I'm like, hey, we need to kind of be worried about our own because our population is decreasing. We went from 16% to 13% since 2019 to current day. So that's like 56 million to 45 million people. We have 45 million black people in America. That's it. That's all we got. And that's slowly declining. So I was sitting up here getting in this big thing, and I was just saying, like, I think the vaccine, I think everything kind of showed us how brittle this world is, man. It's gonna happen. Like imagine, like, and this is crazy, but in the last year, a year and a half, we done seen a global pandemic, and they said aliens is here. So say a meteor comes and hits us. Like, you gotta think about it. We couldn't get gas. We couldn't get gas because somebody hacked the computer, hacked our East Coast pipeline, shut down the whole East Coast. We couldn't get gas for a hack. Like in Texas, people died in last winter because the grid went down. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I think this thing is brittle, man. I hope it woke people up and said, okay, this thing is, like, we know, because, I mean, we've been in the military. So we could survive. We done been in the field. We done been without sleep. We done ate bullshit. So we can survive, man. But I think the majority of the public, I think the paper towel is the last thing to worry about if something real happened.
No, I mean, hey, I got a go bag ready right now. You feel me? If some shit pop off, you know what I'm saying? Me and my family, we good. We straight. But the thing is, you know what I'm saying, how many people have that same mentality? You know what I'm saying? Like, very few to minimal.
And then it's not even about how many people don't have that mentality. It's how long is it gonna take the ones who don't have that mentality to come knocking on my door and hey neighbor, we was cool yesterday, but you know what I'm saying? Get the fuck off my porch.
Hey, that's the real life purge coming. You know what I'm saying? That's that real life purge. Because people gonna see what you have and they're gonna want it.
It's playing out right, like it's playing out right now, like in LA right now. It's playing out right now in front of our faces. Like if you are affluent in LA, you better have a gun on you. Because they walking up in your house now, man. These people in these nice neighborhoods, they wait for you to open your gate up.
Who got robbed? I mean, people get robbed. Somebody just got robbed like last week. I forget who it was. Somebody.
Well, I mean, a lot of professional athletes, they get robbed on a daily. If they don't have their security measures tight and locked, and their stuff protected, they see on TV like, oh, my man's playing in Toronto right now. Let me go ahead and, go up in his house. You feel me? Because you
Right.
can
I
find
mean,
some of
if
these
it, even
addresses.
even
It's
in
not that hard.
the Pop Smoke situation and how he was out
Mhm.
partying, sharing his location or whatever. You know what I'm
Can't
saying?
do that.
Fame don't eliminate you from being a victim, because there's people out there who fans are quote unquote, but there's you just a target for something. Like you let your guard down, you started playing like let Hollywood take your mind away from the streets or whatnot, or maybe you never even really had that mentality. You just got money and played that role. And there's real people out here who is watching and who looking, you know. So I mean, there's a dude down here in downtown Atlanta who, like, every time I see him, he pulling a fat roll. I got this, I got that, pulling a roll of money out of his pocket and talking about what he got and talk about this and talk about that. I'm like, why would you ever do that
Yep.
He's going to
out
be the
here,
first.
especially in
He's going to be
downtown
the next
Atlanta?
victim.
Like
Right.
violence is, I think. Well, I think violence is already normalized, but I think it's really normalized. Like right now in the Bay Area, like the Gucci stores and all them stores, them shits is boarded up with guards at the door.
Well, same thing in Portland, Oregon. I'm from
That's
Portland,
crazy.
originally, and Portland it's pretty bad, man. I mean, just by them, the governor Kate Brown and the whole state, they decriminalize uh, pretty much all illicit drugs. So, um, with that being said, it's not a homeless problem to my belief. It's a drug issue, and
A drug problem.
it's
Yeah.
it's pretty bad.
And
I don't know if you guys
and
seen
what they're not talking about, what else they're not talking about, because the news don't talk about the real news, is we got a huge opioid issue right now. Overdoses, like huge. Like
facts.
they're breaking records right now with the amount of overdoses, and nobody's talking about that the borders
It
open
was a hot topic for a minute. It was a
for a
hot
minute. Yep.
topic for a minute, but then it kind of faded away.
Well, they don't want to talk
I mean,
about
they
it
were
because
talking
of where it's
about the
coming from.
fentanyl and everything that's laced, and they saw, those law enforcement officers, just even picking something up and, overdosing from that product or being close to it, that's an
But
issue. So they'll bring
when
it
it
up.
comes to opioids, when it comes to that, which community is greatly affected by it? Or
I mean, I think the military and the white communities may be affected. The vets and the white people are affected by the
right.
pills. I'm
and
more worried about
because
this.
and because when you go to the because those depressed housewives and whoever, who got they can go to their therapist or their doctor and say, I don't feel good, and get prescribed this and that, and become addicted. And then of course, I forget which documentary I was watching. I was watching, like, some dudes came down from New York or somewhere down to Florida, to go to the little off in the cut
Mm-hmm.
doctors and buy loads and loads of pills. You know what I'm saying? Of course, like, when you got the human factor and money involved, it's just gonna be that. It's gonna be some corrupting somewhere or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the system created this whole opioid. You know what I'm saying? This is an opioid problem or whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And now it's a opioid pandemic or whatever they want to call it. And, oh, these people need help. Help them. You know what I'm saying? But when it was on
Yeah.
crack and when it was shit that's in the
Yeah.
hood,
Hey,
you
that's
locking
that's when
people
they
up and
had,
doing all this kind of shit for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the
that's when
difference?
that
Why
DARE
why is there a
program was in
line?
hard, right?
Well, with this one, man,
Right.
you got the fentanyl now, and everything is stepped on, man. From heroin to now, they're starting to see weed is being like laced,
Laced with fentanyl.
and it's like you start lacing weed, then that's gonna get everybody. Like,
Yeah.
but I just think they prepping us for something. Like right now, they slipped in. Like I forgot the name of that group, the little AOC and all they little people, the little females they run with. They slipped something in. Like
Mm-hmm.
we watch the news and we see like the infrastructure bill and all this other stuff. They slipped in a bill where they're pretty much going to open the prisons up. And this is what happens, man. When you run into
Open
a
them up.
situation, open them up,
Open,
because they're saying
open what up?
the prisons, they're gonna start releasing people. I forgot the name of it, but you can Google it, man. They're trying to pass something to start releasing almost all the prison population. Minus the death row people and stuff. So start releasing people. But the reason you have an issue in Portland, the reason you have an issue in California is you got that no bail thing. So, or you got that thing where if you don't steal anything over $950, then you don't go to jail. It's nothing. It's like barely anything. So now that's when people run into the stores. And that's why people
Yeah,
are
there's
like, hey,
a
I ain't gonna, it's
there's a
crazy.
good documentary on that too. It's called Seattle is Dying. It's on YouTube. You can watch. It's about 45 minutes long. It's just if it's not a felony, they're not taking you in. So if you got a guy out here doing whatever, they're getting a ticket. You feel me? So
Yeah.
they're just like in Oregon, you get caught with whatever type of illicit drugs on you, they give you $100 fine, and then you can go, to a counselor and they'll drop a ticket. So it's just like a revolving issue that, you know, um, it's empowerment. They don't give people the proper authority to do what they need to do in criminal streets.
I'm all about the system being like I'm one of those people that used to always preach how fucked up the system is and how fucked up what things are, or whatever. But I don't think you change it in a case where you decriminalize society, because for all those law-abiding people, that puts us in a kind of a tricky position, because we're gonna defend ourselves, we're gonna make sure we safe, but it puts us in a weird spot where we might
Right.
have to like deal with that one day. And then not only on top of that, what nobody's talking about is black and brown. The population is going back up. The black and brown people, they locking more black and brown people up. They releasing other people. So if you
Mm-hmm.
look, you can Google right now and they'll say populations are up, prison populations up. They're just not talking about it. They're not telling nobody about it. Just like those dudes that they let out for the COVID, they going back and picking them up so
Mm-hmm.
they can finish their sentence. So I mean, the
Mm.
system's still foul, but it's even more foul now
Right.
So they
because
they so they scooping up the people that they let free from COVID.
they letting them finish their sentence, man. Now, this ain't no. Cause you got to think about prison, man. Prison is free labor, man. Prison is free labor. So
Yeah,
this thing is all a business, man. It's all a business. And they
Right.
all they all getting paid, man.
it, in turn, it's like a sense of slavery.
It is. It is absolutely legalized slavery. It's legalized slavery, man. And ain't nobody saying nothing about it.
Right.
Nah,
I mean,
But then that's
because
how
it's
you.
kind of like, well, I think there's a degree of what can you say about it? Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because if you commit a crime, you go to jail, you're supposed to be quote unquote punished, but to what degree? Like you gave up, like you got rights, but you don't got rights. You should do this, but you shouldn't do that. I feel like a lot of people that might sway a lot of people's opinion on how to handle prisoners and how to handle that whole situation of, okay, yeah, it's fucked up, but they did something wrong, so maybe they deserve to did that. That's like just on a general upstanding quote unquote citizen who ain't got caught yet mentality. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
That's how
but
you're gonna
man,
feel about it.
yeah, but it gets tricky, man. It gets tricky, especially when you still got people in jail for weed, and you got boys making millions and billions of dollars
Right.
from
And
weed right
then it's
now.
legal here and
It
it's
gets,
legal there and it's legal there.
yep.
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So that one for me, like weed, okay, now that you making it legal in states and whole states are making capital off of selling it and taxing it and doing whatever. Now
It's like
that's
Germany last
more
week.
kind of finally gets it. No. Okay, well, now you gotta let these people that you locked up for however
Yep.
much weed they had on them, you gotta let them go. You gotta let them go.
You can't lock somebody up for a life sentence for some marijuana. You feel me? You got Germany last week. They just announced that they are legalizing marijuana use in the whole country. That's how you should do it, not just individual
Right,
state by state. And okay, it's good here for medical purposes, but I can go, I can go, I can go ham. Saying in Portland and do whatever I want. Um,
right.
They just need to keep everything equal, equal across the board. Like even with prison sentences. You feel me? It doesn't matter if it's whatever race, creed, color, whatever. Keep everything equal across the board. But I mean, if you look at the Wisconsin thing, the whole Wisconsin's legal guidance and guidelines is not clear and concise. It's a whole bunch of gray areas, and
Right.
it's written like poorly, like slavery terms poorly. You feel me?
Well,
Back in the day,
Right. And
I
even
think
some of
it's-
the, even some of the, even to say,
Yeah.
even when the way some of the laws are written, because I think when the crack laws came out, like if you're caught selling crack within this many meters of a church or a school, then that increased your sentence. But I'm from the South, and if you realize how many I lived on one block, my grandmother lived on another block. There was 3 churches between my house and my grandmother's house. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
Who has more churches in their neighborhoods? Black people. Who has more schools and daycares in their neighborhood? Black people, brown people. You know what I'm saying? That's just how the neighborhoods are built, and that's just how it is. So when you writing these laws to affect this and so on and so forth, now that just is still kind of an increase on the sentence, an increase on the punishment.
Hey, what you think about it's kind of like a little bit off subject, but what you think about Joel Osteen, and the guy going into the walls and finding 600 grand stuffed in the walls?
It let me know that I was right again about these preachers, man. It's just
I
what you
mean,
do.
at the end of the day, like for me, any preacher, well, I guess especially a preacher, like any preacher that just gets that big and that popular and that dynamic or whatever, got that many people just following and whatever. Nah, it's some corruptness. It's something going on there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it is. Because at the end of the
I
day,
immediately
you're
thought
just a
about Breaking
man and
Bad.
you're human.
Like,
Walter White trying to store some buckets,
I mean, and
some
what for it?
ducats
I
for
mean,
later.
the church's money is the church's money is tax free. So what do you put money in the walls for? I mean,
Yeah. It's just like Chris Jenner. Chris Jenner, she owns a church in California. How you feel, about all the tax-free money that they've been, recycling through their church?
bruh, it's a hustle. It's like that's the grand hustle right there. Like
yeah.
like regardless of what it is, like when you really, it's either you either preaching or you pimping. Them the grand hustles right there. Them the top of the line. And preaching is number one, because if you out here pimping, you can get arrested. You got a lot of liabilities that come along with pimping. But preaching, I mean, it's gonna catch up with you eventually. But at the end of the day, ain't you gonna have a lot of people supporting you and believing you and doing whatever. So you kind of you just untouchable to a degree.
Man, I don't think it catches up with you, because you can always say, "Hey, God forgave me. I talked to God last night. He forgave me." So y'all gotta forgive
Get on
me.
TV,
And
cry a little bit, drop
I
a tear or
repented. I'm
two.
good.
yeah, and you got customers for their whole lifetime, and you tell them, you regurgitate.
Old ladies give you
ladies.
their whole social security check,
Yep.
not paying a bill, giving you all that money and whatever. No, man.
Man, when you think about a business plan, the church is the master business plan, because you don't have to produce a product. You are repeating stories in a book, and they're going to interpret it the way you interpret it. And you can interpret it to make yourself look good. You can talk about money every week. God said, pay the preacher, and they'll pay you every week.
No,
So
God said to tithe 10% of your income. That's what he said. So go ahead and pass the little collection plate
Yep.
around, and
Yep.
I need
Yep.
Right. I don't want
automatic.
it all.
I need a
I'm not
direct
gonna be evil.
deposit.
I don't want all your money. I don't want
No, I
all
just
of
want
it.
10%.
And those you got to think about those churches, man. The
If you want that
TD Jakes
blessing this week, you better pay that 10% today, and then you'll be
Hey,
them
blessed.
churches.
I don't want $1. I want that 10%.
Well, them churches, them churches, you got to show your pay stub, man. A lot of those them big churches, you got to show your pay stub, so they make sure they
Man,
get
see,
their
that's what I'm
10%.
talking about.
My
No,
live
man,
stream
no,
got
that's
messed up.
ridiculous. That is
And
ridiculous.
I think they about to
man,
block it.
but yeah, it's wild, man.
See, y'all messing up the church's money. They didn't block. They didn't cut us
With
off.
you still here? You still here? They ain't on to it yet. I don't think. But okay, so we flip from that and going into. I mean, even though you might not be well versed on the Chris Cuomo, CNN news anchor.
Hmm.
His brother was a governor somewhere,
Yeah,
accused of
New York.
sexual
Yeah.
harassment or whatnot. And then so his brother got this case. Andrew got this case. Chris gave him a little bit of advice, told him how to handle it, blah, 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 blah. And now he's fired from CNN. But I really don't. I mean, I know it's on the back end after the Me Too movement and after everything is going on, anything like if your name is attached to anything sexual harassment, then you in the hot seat especially with him being a white male. You know what I'm saying? So now, but I don't know. I don't know if he deserved to get fired over it because
Yeah, I mean,
it may be immoral, but who wouldn't do that for their brother? Who wouldn't tell their brother, like, hey, do this, and this. Say this, and this. If you come out good, you come out good. If you get charged, you get charged. But just say this.
yeah, I mean, he was just
It's
giving them advice, But
it's got to
my
be
thing is,
something else coming out, man. For them to
yeah,
let him go like
they have
that,
to have. There has to
it's
be a
got to
little
be
bit more
something, man.
something. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
they
They can't
all
just fire
do
him
it.
off the spot, but that's the new thing nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They'll fire you off the spot, and then hey, better luck next time. You'll find a new gig or whatever. You know what I'm saying later on. Um,
Yeah.
but my thing is they should, you know, a corporation like CNN, they shouldn't have fired him right off the bat until the evidence, you know, was played out, fully and truly.
Mm-hmm. They say they
There's got to
conducted
be
their
something,
own
man.
investigation or something. I mean,
Like,
they
there's
pulled the
got to be a
text
story
messages.
coming
You
out.
know what I'm saying? And I mean, I know I got text messages in my phone that I don't want nobody to see. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I
Hey,
don't
you
pull
get
my
a, you
text
get
messages.
a, you'll throw that bitch in the ocean.
I don't know, man. I think it's got to be something, man. It's got to like be a tape or a video or a case coming out. The reason I say that is I did look up a little bit about the situation. So he had the highest rated show on CNN.
Right.
CNN is like 37th on the list of like nighttime news. Like CNN is bottomed out since like Trump left. So
Right.
why would you get rid of your highest rated show and everybody's doing dirt? Like everybody, like what's the black dude on CNN? Uh, Don Lennon or something? Don Lemon?
Oh, Lemon. Yeah, Lemon.
Yeah, he did. Like a story came out a couple weeks ago where he did some foul stuff. He like ran his finger across his balls and then ran it across like a waiter's nose or something.
What?
Like look it up. Yeah,
Nah.
I swear to you. Google this. I swear to you. Google
That shit
this.
sounds like when it says old story, some crazy shit that happened. Like,
I
yo, I
swear.
don't know, you trying to hit me with a car or
I
something,
swear to you,
Like I had to
man.
like dive out the road.
Man, Google it. Google it, man. I'm saying they
Yo.
all doing foul stuff. I don't know, man. I
Bro,
don't know.
you
I
said
swear.
buddy ran his fingers across his balls and put it
Yep.
underneath somebody's nose. Come on now.
That's right. But I don't know what
And
kind of bar he was at.
he's still working?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like it's got to be something bigger, man. They all doing dirt. Now I don't know what kind of bar he was at because he got a husband, so I don't know if that's a thing. If that's like a way of asking for somebody's number in that world or whatever. I don't know, but like I don't know, but
I'm trying to like picture what just happened. You feel me? Like this
man,
cat's still out here working
but if
like,
you
hey man,
but if you
I asked that
Google them,
dude how
Smell
my
my
balls
finger.
smelled, you know what I'm saying?
I mean they all do it.
And
They all do it, and they all lying to each other. I don't know, man. They all lying to each other anyway. Like, yeah. Think about it. His brother got like fired or got replaced as governor for what? Sexual harassment.
He resigned. I think he
He
did. I think he
resigned.
bowed out before the heat got too hot.
A year prior to that, he put COVID positive people in a nurse home, and all the old people died. And if
Yeah,
you Google it, if you
that's
Google it,
foul. That
Yeah.
was
if you
foul.
Google it, yeah, if you Google it, he put them in open graves out in New York. He was digging up open graves and sticking wood. Look
You
this
know,
up,
I
man.
seen that because they had
So
people
he
up
Yeah,
in
was on his way out. He was on his way out
they had
anyway.
people up in bread trucks that they were just throwing in there.
yep, yep.
Yep, I remember that. He was
So
doing
it's
some
so much.
foul. He was doing some foul
Oh
shit.
man, there's so much foul stuff going on, man. It had for his brother to get terminated. That's terminated. That's real. They ain't suspend you until the investigation is over, or it's
Yeah,
termination. You done. For them to do that,
Right.
it's got to be
there had to be some extra.
it's got to be a video or something coming out that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I don't know,
Like,
man. They all
okay,
lying
so
to us,
we go
man.
to entertainment. Are y'all watching? Have y'all watched True Story on Netflix yet? With Kevin Hart and
You
True,
said what
Westbrook?
was it?
oh,
So
true.
this
Oh
is
man. Woo.
Oh no, I haven't seen it. But they
True
said
Story
to,
on
to go ahead and
Netflix.
watch it. They said that you know Kevin Hart is a hit and miss for me. But they said that he's serious in this, and
Yeah,
he goes hard. So I'm
but
gonna
this
have to
this
go ahead
this
and
one ain't
tune
that
in.
bad. I've been watching it. I've
It's
been
pretty good.
watching it. I think I'm on like up to episode 6 or 7. It's good.
Oh, you ain't finished. I'm glad I ain't seen nothing.
And before that,
Yeah,
did
This
I
y'all
ain't
watch
I ain't even
it's
started
good.
yet, so don't even
The Harder They
don't
Fall?
blow up the spot already. You feel me?
I ain't gonna say nothing. Ain't no spoilers. Ain't no spoilers. I'm just saying, watch it. Did you see
Yeah.
The Harder They Fall? What y'all think about The Harder They Fall?
Oh yeah, that was like
Harder
the
Fall.
hardest fake black cowboy movie that I've ever seen in my life. You feel me?
Oh yeah, I watched that too.
They ain't gonna
I,
let us go that hard back in the day, but I mean that was I mean it was good, man. I love the concept. I think the train scene was the hardest of the movie, and it was just a
Hmm.
great concept, from start to finish, and then they left it open at the end. You know what I mean? So it was it
Right.
was uh it was enlightening.
I hate that old boy who wanted the gunfight got shot in the mouth so quick. I wish he had I wish he had to stop talking and just
that was kind of dope though. I
blast it.
expected that to happen though. I was like, it ain't no way he gonna beat old boys. I like it because
Nah,
it seemed like the how they scored it, man. Like the music. Like if you heard the soundtrack yet, man, the soundtrack kind of dope.
Yeah.
So how they scored it with the
You see that
music in the movie.
Jay Z getting
yeah,
into
Jay Z
a
was
lot
on
of
it.
more musical
Yeah,
production, movie
yeah,
production, like movie production. I've seen his name on a few black movies and stuff that's been produced and stuff. Him and Beyonce getting more into that, I guess.
yeah. It was dope. I like the music. I like the soundtrack. I mean, I like it, man. I watch it as soon as I see those, man. I watch them,
Hmm.
man. Like as soon as I seen that Kevin Hart, man, I watched it. I thought
Hmm.
it was just gonna be a normal Kevin Hart silly movie, but I liked it, man. I liked it like I liked that movie when he's taking care of that rich dude. His more serious roles, even though I don't think he's a great actor, I like his more
Right.
serious roles. I'm
Right.
Yeah.
kind of like done with the whole his silly act, especially like with The Rock and stuff. Like at this point, it
Right.
ain't funny
That's
no more.
just so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then seen it one time. You seen it once. You seen them all.
Like the Jumanji joints.
yeah. I mean, my kid
All
like I
right.
like those Jumanji movies, man,
I
but
mean, it was funny, you know what I'm saying? But it was,
Jumanji
it
was
was
alright,
silly.
but yeah.
but it's just
I
kind of
don't
like
know
above and
where.
beyond. You know what I mean? He was trying too hard. I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went and saw. I went and saw DC Curry on stage the other night. Uncle Elroy from Friday.
Oh
He was
yeah,
good. He did a good. He put on a good show. Yeah. He talked about when you really think about it, like how many. I guess Debo died. Ezel
Mm-hmm.
gone. And
And the whole
y'all heard
Friday
this
side,
one,
man.
like
pops.
how many of the people from Friday had already passed away?
That's crazy if you
Yeah.
think about it, because damn near the whole cast, has passed almost. So it's,
Right.
but a lot of black excellence is passing away. Like Bernie Mac and a bunch of other people. So it's I don't know what it is, bro, but we just gotta live each day to the fullest.
Either
Love our
passing away or
family,
getting locked up. You know,
either or.
Yeah.
passed away or getting locked up. So okay, on to different questions. Like me and Stu, you mentioned, X drama. Like, okay, I'm gonna present this question to y'all. Okay, so say you're a man, you have a child with a woman. The child is 16, 17 years old. Y'all ain't been together for years, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. You moving on with your life, she moving on to hers. You decide to move, you're in a relationship, you decide to move in, with another woman. The child is living with you. She's like, old enough. Do you feel like you owe the mother an explanation of, hey, I'm gonna be moving in with such and such?
I don't think you owe it to her because I know that situation. I mean, I know that situation, but it was like my kids was what 5 and 6 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you owe it to them. I don't think you owe them nothing, but I would put it out there
I mean,
just so
5
you
and
know
6 is different than 17, 16, 17 years old.
I will put it out there just so you know the amount of drama you're gonna have to deal with.
Right. I think it's more of
Because you're
like
gonna
a
have to deal with some
respect. I
drama.
think it's more of like a respect thing, what I'm saying, just to like air it out, like, hey, this is a situation, what I'm saying, we thinking about moving in together, what I'm saying. I just want to give you a early heads up so, you're on board of what's about to
Do
transpire.
you think the women will necessarily play that same respect in that aspect to the man?
I think it's
No.
case by case.
Well, I think it's kind of like it's based on the circumstances. So it depends on what kind of relationship you have. Like I've been at war with mine for like 17 years. So the
Mm-hmm.
battle lines have been drawn. So there's no peace treaties. There's no white flags. We at war. So we
Right.
try not to tell nothing to nobody. But if you got a good relationship, then yeah. Now
Mm-hmm.
I would say if y'all got a good relationship now, I would say yeah, talk to them. Especially in the case that if you have like a 16, 17-year-old daughter and you got a woman around, she old enough, your daughter or the daughter is old enough to have her own personality where she might not like marry up and be friendly with your old lady. And that can cause issues if
Mm-hmm.
they fall out from, your daughter's mom. Now, I would hope that a woman would say something with a 16, 17-year-old daughter bringing a man around. At least let the father put eyes on her because that's a serious
Right.
situation. Because if it goes wrong there, then somebody getting hurt.
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it could be a completely
yeah.
different story.
So, but man, you got to be as careful as possible, man. But these situations are always drama and tricky. Like if you see that situation where old dude got killed, man, went to go pick up his kid, and his baby mama boyfriend shot him on the doorstep. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. And the thing
Yep.
is with that, who's point blank, was it a shotgun or a rifle? I couldn't really.
It was we call it a PCC, like a pistol carbine. So it was a
Okay,
little
yeah, so it
Ruger
was like a
pistol
nine
carbine. It
millimeter,
was like a nine
whatever.
mil. Yeah.
But he like literally he didn't have to put two shots in him now. One would have done whatever stop. I mean, it's Texas now, and he was telling him get off his property. That should have been the first, like, hey, this is a red flag. This guy is telling me to get off his property. We know the Texas law. You on his property, you got to go. But for him to be so drastic to come out with the gun, just pop out, and I think he kind of escalates the whole situation. But now, the kid wasn't. He said the kid wasn't even in the house, so I don't even
Yeah,
Right.
know.
he was coming to pick him up at his allotted time, and then the
Right.
kid wasn't there, so he was mad because he like. And then, man, I believe me, I got experiences about this where it's like the man has to follow. Well, I don't want to say the man, but in my case, the man has to follow the order to the T. We'll end up back in court. But the females, they ain't got to follow the order at all. They kind of manipulate the order how they see fit. I see that
Right.
all the time.
And that's
Right.
but I
wrong.
didn't experience that. But I purposely tried to avoid conflict. And then with mine she got a spouse that he don't want no drama. He stay in the car. He don't really argue. He don't
But the
really
thing
go.
is, Stu, he should have, from the very jump, what I'm saying, if it was court ordered decision, what I'm saying, that they have a lot of times to, exchange the children, whatever, it should be done in a public setting, not at somebody's, residential area. You know what I mean? Because anything could
Yeah.
pop off at a residential home, but if you're in a public setting, what I'm saying, like with people watching, it could be, perceived little bit different. You know what I mean?
Man, it's the and this is just my own opinion. It feels like sometimes the man get the short end of the stick, man.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
Well, I mean,
man,
Sometimes,
that's
sometimes,
that's
I've
sometimes
been
a majority
the
of the
whole
times. And I'm gonna tell it right now.
I'm gonna
I'm
speak
trying to
like this.
I'm
This
trying to be
this whole
fair.
system is set up against the man.
No,
Nah,
it's set
let's
up
be
against
fair
the
then
man.
and say all the time. Let's really be fair.
Man, I like
Let's keep it equal
so
and fair across the board. Like
like
we'll
like with
resort back to that.
I can't even count the amount of times I've had a commander or first sergeant say it's a civil matter. I've called the police and been like, "Help
They
me out," and
just
they
they
like,
just don't want
"Man,"
to get involved.
and
That's what
then
it is.
the police has been like, "Hey, man, it's a civil matter," and then I go to the courts, and the courts is like, "You did her wrong," kind of thing. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy how the system works, man.
Or the courts
It's
like,
crazy
hey,
how bad it is.
you should have called law
Right.
enforcement or whatever to intervene. But I'm here, what I'm saying, trying to establish something in writing from you guys, but you guys give me the runaround. So
Right.
it's like a lose-lose scenario for the most
It's
of
kind of
us.
like you walk in, as soon as you walk in, you inherit the image of every dirtbag baby daddy that there ever has
Mm-hmm.
been. You know what I'm saying? You have to climb and claw your way to the top. You can put it down in plain writing, like, hey, I have done this, and this, and it's always because I mean, in all actuality, I feel like if a woman is collecting child support or getting certain things, even though you cash out the income or whatever, she should have to go to a budgeting class or a financial class or something because, like that doesn't just because she's the mom or whatever doesn't mean she's good with her money. You know what I'm saying? I have a daughter, my daughter's mom has always been bad with money. Always. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know that about her. And so when it comes to paying whatever I need to pay, it's still kind of like I tell her, look, when I was active duty, if it was 30 days in the month on the 30th, she texted me, make sure you put that money in there. Which I got a whole allotment going to your account on the first.
Yeah,
You
but
ain't gotta text me, you ain't gotta say
that's
nothing to me. If it's the 31st, she
that's
already
that's
texted me.
just her trying to make
My
herself
account
feel
is
better.
overdrawn. My account is overdrawn and blah blah blah. I don't give a fuck about your, like, hush. That's your problem. Here is
Yeah,
what is
that
going to
has
hit your
nothing to do with
account.
you.
You don't have to talk to me or whatever it is, So I feel like, and then at what age? I know different states have different age. At the end of the day, I feel like there should be a cap on a general kind of like how much does it take? How much does it take to take care of a child in America on both parts, regardless? $1,000 a month, okay. 500 for the dad, 500 for the mom. That's it. I don't care if you Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, or whoever. You paying $500 a month because if the dad is living this lifestyle and the mom is living this lifestyle that's maybe not as good or whatever, then
Well, even
let the
it
kid
said,
go stay with the dad.
well,
Let the kid go stay with the dad. If he
look
don't
at the
want to live
whole
this
Dr.
lifestyle,
Dre
come
thing.
stay with me.
Look at the whole Dr. Dre
Right.
thing. I think she's getting like $1 million a month or something like that. Or
I'm
I
talking
don't know
about
what it
stupid.
is.
Right.
It was something
That's
ridiculous, and she
ridiculous.
keeps on going fighting for like more money. But like on the low, she was like,
Ridiculous.
you know, purging some of his money, what I'm saying, on the side from record deals and different things. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
I don't know. I just think that right is right and wrong is wrong. And when it comes to raising your child, you don't need $20,000 a month to take care of your child. You feel me? Like
You don't. You don't.
that's
Man,
not.
You
That's
don't.
not what it's about.
Because I
It
mean,
was
like at the end
crazy.
of the day, like when out of the child support that I paid, like when I'm paying and I'm giving it to you every month, then it for a couple of months or whatever, and I don't have to pay it to you. I just get to keep what I had. I don't get none coming in. I may not get none coming in. I just get to keep what I had, and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I don't need no extra. I don't need this. I don't need that. And not saying that it alleviates the man from taking care of what he needs to take care of, but it's just kind of like the stigma and everything that's put on it, and to where it's kind of like, and really the problem of it is the court's going to make certain that you pay this percentage of your income. They're going to make certain of that, but they don't really care about the time that you get to spend with your child. They'll
No,
put it in there somewhere, but if the mom chooses to not to do it or whatever, or now you gotta make the way, if you want to get the kid, you got a 5-kid here or whatever. No, it should be even. Let's make it even. If we're gonna make it even, I'll make this amount, she makes this amount, this is what I pay, this is what she paid. I live here, she lives there, I pay this much, she pays this much. All the way across the board, all the way. I get this much time, I get 6 months out of the year, or I get 1 year, she gets 1 year. Whatever, however you want it to be. But at the end of the day, kids don't even remember what you bought, how much money came in, or whatever. They just remember that time that you spent. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
after a while, you just
Like
making sure
the
that
kids are gonna
do
only be
whatever you
like,
got to do, and then you
Dad
ain't
had me
got
for the
no money.
summertime. We went to Six Flags or whatever. We went to the park. We did this. It
Right.
was fun hanging out with my dad during the summertime. They're not going to be breaking down like, damn. For the last 16 years, he paid me $160,000. I wonder if I'll get more money when I turn
Not at
18
all.
and go to college. You know what I'm saying? Like, is the child support going to continue? Is mom going to let me put the money in my account? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look, and it's the father's it's his responsibility to stay up on the child's progression, either in school or if they get married or if they have kids or whatever. What I'm saying? It's up to the father. And then if you find a discrepancy and you bring it to the courthouse, there's always going to be an issue or a problem. It's always going to be an issue and a problem.
But
So it's
even that, man, like it's like with this, the court system, the child court system has probably been the biggest burden probably on my life, man. It's crazy. Like my daughter just turned 18 a week and a half ago. So of course there's going to be a reduction. Now she has to like get out of high school for the child support to stop. So in preparation of that, like I've been to court like multiple times over the years with my ex. And every time we go to court, the judge says, hey, everybody pays their own lawyer fees. Everybody pays their own lawyer fees. Well, in preparation of the 18-year day coming, man, my ex went back and she got a judge. She convinced the judge to overrule all the previous judges. So I had to pay all her lawyer fees over the last couple of years. And they let it
like,
happen.
how is that even?
It's called the American rule, where each party pays their own, unless I'm like a millionaire and she's broke. But they violated the American rule and she's a chief. That's the thing. She was a chief. She just retired 2 weeks ago. She was a chief.
So
Oh, that's
she come
fucking.
to court in uniform and all that now.
And
Yeah, that's faulty,
it's
man. She
just
came in there in
it's
her
just
a service dress
it's just
with the
what it
skirt.
is, man. It's just what it is.
Heels clacking and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just what it is, man.
We're here
They,
for Mrs. No, that's chief to you, Judge. That's chief.
so it was like so I'm like, all right, everything's fine. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do over these last like umpteen years or whatever. And then I get a letter in the mail, hey, you owe 20,000 over here, you owe this, and it's just like, and they don't even care. They didn't even ask me. They didn't even say, hey, how much do you make? Or they didn't even ask me.
No,
It's just
that's
saying,
crushing. You know what I'm saying? That's what shit like that drives people insane. You know what I'm saying? And it like you see it nowadays. You know what I'm saying? More and more people are struggling with mental health. They're not going to talk to their buddy. They're not letting you know about it. Saying they might leave a note or two, but they're committing suicide over dealing with the burden, of going through some of these certain circumstances in life. It's not the all,
Right.
be all end all, but I mean, like, some of that shit is ridiculous.
Like
What I'm saying? Some
the
of it could
pressure
be
gets to some
mitigated.
people.
Yeah, I mean, but the pressure, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, you have to find a new avenue, what I'm saying, to refocus your direction and your energy. But,
It's just, man, it's just I like, if I had known years ago to do things to avoid the situation, I would have did it. But that's probably the one thing I'm gonna tell my son is make sure before I tell him to go to college, before I tell him to do this, I'll tell him don't use drugs, don't commit crimes, and watch who you lay down with and have kids with. Because that's gonna be your biggest, not your kids. Your kids are a blessing, but the person you're dealing with is gonna be your biggest burden in life.
Right.
Even when I just took them back, man. I live in Texas. They live in Louisiana. I moved to Texas to get closer to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they stay, 3 hours away. So I had to take it back. And you understand, man, once my daughter graduates, she's probably gonna be going to college right after that. So I don't even know if I'm gonna get a summer. Plus she's 18. So legally I can't enforce a summer visit kind of thing. So I was like, hey, I told her mom, hey, we 3 hours away. I'll be there at noon to drop her off. She said, no, you'll be here at 8 a.m. in the morning. And I'm 3 hours away. So I got to get up at 4 o'clock to drive. And it's been like this for like 18 years, man. It's just what it is. We're not 18, but we got divorced since 2011, man. That's just
yeah,
the way
she
it is,
she
man.
just does that
So
to
when you say that, Stu, but when you say that, and like you may tell, I don't know if you speak to friends or speak to this person once, and they be like, well, I would just say, no, hell no, I ain't coming, blah 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 blah. But do you feel like you don't understand, where I'm coming from? Like, yeah, she making me do this, but I gotta do it.
So one day at Edwards Air Force Base, 2014, I got relieved of duty.
um
I got relieved of duty. You know why I got relieved of duty? I had my daughters. I was flight chief. It was my last day of visitation, so I had to work on them my last day because I didn't have enough leave. So I'm on patrol, flight chief, driving around. She comes early. She comes a day early. She wants to get them. I'm like, no, I still got one day left. She
yeah.
calls a
Like when
neighboring
you get off
police
of work,
department.
what I'm saying, you want to have
Right.
that quality time to say goodbye and everything else, do what you need to do.
She calls a neighboring police department. She calls Kern County and says I kidnapped them. I'm on duty flight chief, right? Kern County calls the desk, and they end up calling the commander. The commander calls the first sergeant. So the first, and she's there. She's a master sergeant at the time, but her husband's there. He's a master sergeant, flight chief. Our flight chief and her husband, they went to flight chief school together. The flight chief and the commander brings me in the commander's office, rips me, tells me to give my kid back. Yeah, this is
But
just
I
what
thought
it
it was,
is,
all a civil matter.
man. It's
Come
that.
on, bro.
So what happens is I've learned to stay level as possible. I've learned to just stay as level.
Student got
There you go.
kicked.
You got
No,
kicked off.
hey, Chief heard him talking. What I'm saying? She said, "Hey, ban him from
Like,
ban
hey,
his
I'm
ass from
here.
the live stream."
I'm here. Don't You ain't going nowhere. Did his battery go down?
They said I got about 10 more minutes, bro.
Yeah, we trying to wrap it up right now. You know what I'm saying? We already in an hour. Yeah, we already going on an hour and a half in. So if he pop back up, that's good. But I mean, that's just the main thing. It's kind of like, just because I feel like the three of us have experiences and a father that's trying to do, you know, the best he can. Even when you're saying you're doing the best you can, you still would like to do more. You still would, you still want to do even more than you might be doing. But,
Right.
you know, especially if you're out here, I'm in Afghanistan right now. I'm here, I'm there, I'm here, I'm there, and I can't do no more than I'm doing at the end of the day.
Right. I mean, you can only
I can
do
only do
within
what
your
I'm doing.
within your cable toe and your reach, So it's
Like
in a 24-hour
speaking on
period,
this, like
you have to lay it
3
out,
weeks
in
ago,
3 equal parts. So it's like
right?
you can only reach so far.
You booted me out, man.
No, no. Hey, it was cheap. She heard you talking. She wanted to shut that
Yeah.
shit down.
No, but what I was saying real
You've
quick,
been
I was
you've
saying,
been getting blocked all week, Stu. You've been getting
Yeah, you've been
blocked
getting
all week,
blocked all week,
Maurice.
so they
You've
was
been getting
like,
blocked
go
all
ahead,
week.
kick him.
no,
Hey, there you
what I
go.
was trying to say is I've just learned to take just try to keep a level head about it because at the end of the day, nobody really gives a shit. To be honest with you, nobody really cares. Nobody really sees your point of view. So,
It's all money.
there's been times where I was like, I kind of want to fuck them up, and I've had the opportunity and the ability to do it, but I just took it on the chin and said, okay. And one thing I've always told myself is, and a lot of older people in my life have told me that kids are adults longer than their kids. Like your kids are going to be adults longer than they have to deal with this. So they're going to remember certain things about their childhood, but their adulthood is where you can leave a real impact, and then eventually they'll see what happens. Eventually, whatever
Right.
negative personality traits, they're going to see it, and a lot of times they're going to have to deal with it. So in my case, I got a narcissistic ex. They're going to see it eventually, where she's trying to control them, and
Right.
she already does, but. And it's whatever, man. I ain't gonna throw my life away for that. It's a lesson. It's a big lesson.
But
I don't
Stu,
regret it
you
because
said
I got
you said your daughter is turning 18.
18. I got 18 and 17.
Yeah,
I got a
hey,
7.
it's been a long road, but all things shall come to an end. You know what I'm saying? And the child support, the back and forth court round battles, the negative talk between each other. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole war shit. That's just gonna come to an end within 3 to 4 years, bro. So there's still light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? And you've endured. You know what I'm saying? You've endured a lot. And you're more of a man than you think you think you're a man, but you're more of a man taking care of them kids and moving from California to be closer to them and spending more time with them and being in their life, than a lot of other people that have could give two shits. You feel me?
Right. I feel like this is how I feel. I feel like there are certain men out there who the system need the system. Yeah, put them in the system. You know what I'm saying? I feel, because there's just certain ones who are not taking care, not even trying to take care of any responsibility or whatever. I mean, and that can go, that can get down into weeds of a lot of things too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as if there is a man who at least is trying to do something, at least trying to spend time, at least trying to at least communicating. Like I tell my daughter, I'm like, look, no matter where I've been in the world, you've been able to contact me. That says a lot because there's women who baby daddy live in the same town, live down the street from them. They can't get in contact with them. They block, they whatever it is.
Yeah, but I
A
mean
couple of
that's
weeks
not an
ago,
excuse with now
my daughter's mom that lives in
nowadays technology.
Tampa,
You feel me?
right? My daughter's mom that lives in Tampa say, "Hey, come and get your kid. I'm done. My kid is 16 years old." So when you say that, it opens up a can of worms for me because I think back to all the times to where I wanted to get her, and it was like, "Oh, we're going on this trip. Oh, we're doing this.
We're
Oh,
doing
we're
this.
doing that," and blah blah blah
It's
and blah blah blah. And
inconvenient,
now that
but
you're
when
done, now that you're done, now that you can't handle her or whatever it is, now that you're angry at her, I gotta come get her.
yeah,
But you know what? Just like you said too, I got in my car, took the 6-hour drive to Tampa, even though I had to work the next morning, got down there, and still when I talked to them, made them two talk, I came back without my child. So I just made this trip for nothing for real. You know what I'm saying? For
that's
nothing
wild.
for real. But at the end of the day, when no matter what nobody else says, oh, I wouldn't have done that, da 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 da. You at the end of the day, I know what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? There's just certain things that you gotta show as a baby daddy that you feel like I know that if I don't do this, it's going like me doing it will eliminate 1,000 times of blah 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 and da 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 that I gotta hear just by
Yeah.
me doing this one little thing, even though it's gotta take. I mean, I gotta make that sacrifice at this time to eliminate all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah, man. It's one of
we're
those
gonna
things,
wrap it
man.
up here. We're gonna get out of here. But
It's been
Luke,
a pleasure
we
talking
never
with you
got your
guys.
info. You know what I'm saying? For
Yeah.
sure, for sure. We didn't get to introduce you formally. We just popped into
Uh,
it. Luke, you know what I'm saying? How's the car business going? What you been doing since you retired? What's going on with you?
hey man, I'm retired. 20 years, 5 days. It feels good, to be honest with you. To get back into the regular society mix of things. Um, the VA stuff just got settled a couple weeks ago, so we good there. Um, I'm just trying to live life. I was assistant, coach for my son's baseball team, so I'm trying to get more involved with their upbringing. He starts soccer here coming up next week. I still dibble and dabble in the cars, Lucas Auto Sports. It's more of like a hobby. I only keep 3 or 4 cars around, just keep them in rotation. But heavily involved in the Maurice Lucas Foundation. We keep, give, we teach kids life lessons through sports and education. The Pacific Northwest, ml20.org is our website. But hey, next week is our annual gala. We're going to be going live as well. I'll shoot you all the information about the free virtual, live event. It's going to be awesome. Um, so I really appreciate you guys bringing me in. We all work together as security forces, and security forces can be a grueling world, um, but we all made it. I'm saying we all got our stripes. You feel me? Um,
Right.
and it feels good to move on to the next chapter, and take those memories, take those life experiences, from deployments, uh, daily communication with individuals, because the people you meet in the military are not all brought up the same. What I'm saying? So you got to adapt and, sometimes, you know, dig into their brain and how they're thinking and their thought process. But, um, in the end, what I'm saying, it's either, you get right or, you get the highway. But, hey, as we three did agree, what I'm saying, with the other people that we worked with, we made it through, and it's been a pleasure, to know you guys and, truly call you guys friends. I said when he came out to Tampa, to
For sure.
visit his daughter and everything, we got a chance to break bread, took him to a little fish spot, we got some food,
For
whatnot.
sure.
But, yeah, Stu, I'm gonna have to come slide through, Texas sometime, and link up with you, bro. Talk about some aliens and some stuff that's going
Yeah.
on. That's off the live video.
Yeah.
That's what's
Um,
up. And I mean, and that's the thing about it too is, I mean, at the end of the day, we may not talk every day. This may be, like between time and in between time. I don't know when the last time we did here, but you know, we got each other's number, we got each other contact, and that's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Even we always at shift change is when we come together, we talk or whatever it is. We come together, we talk, we chop it up, and then we press on and do what we got to do or whatever. But this connection and but if you ever need to talk to somebody, I feel like if I ever need to talk to somebody, I can call Luke, I can call Stu, I can call Peen, I can call any one of y'all and just really talk. And I hope y'all feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Oh yeah,
ever be
most
just
definitely.
out
yeah.
there looking for somebody to talk to and not reach out and not talk. And they ain't gotta be about this and they gotta be about that. Reach out, we talk to each other, we chop it up, and we build on each other. You know what I'm saying? Like we really all the stuff we talk about, despite how the black community is doing or whatever is doing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We come up, we our paths cross for a reason, and so whatever I might have, I might not have much to contribute, but whatever I might have insight or whatnot is, just hit me up and I feel the same way about y'all. And that's how that's just how we roll. We appreciate you,
Yes, sir.
coming on, and talking to us, Luke. And
I'm
Stu is
looking
always
forward to the
here.
next one. You know what I'm saying?
For
just
sure.
reach
We
out.
can make it
We
regular.
can make this a
If I can
regular
slide
basis.
you
You know what I'm
in,
saying?
I'll come back.
Really, for sure. You know what I'm saying? In 2022, we're gonna try to make the flight chief's office more consistent. We're gonna try to do it more often. And be in communication and just talk about things more often. So you are you a member of that. So anytime you want to pop in, you got time, you here.
Appreciate that. Appreciate the love, man.
For sure.
As always, we go back. We go back to Okinawa. You know what I'm saying? So it was we got
For
some
sure.
history. You know what I mean? But
Beast mode.
yo, yes sir, yes sir. All right, guys, I'm a ride out. I'm gonna catch this the
Yeah,
last bit of the Steelers game, but I appreciate the
for
love
sure.
and appreciation and you guys bringing me into the flight chief chat. So
For sure.
peace, love, and hair grease. I'll talk with y'all later.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.
Peace.
You out, Stu? All
Yeah,
right.
I'm in. All
Peace
right,
out.
man.
Like Chief's office. You got anything? Wrap it up.
Nah, man, we're good. We got to do this more often, man. Especially when all that shit was going on with
Yeah,
Rittenhouse
we
and
got to
stuff. I
do
was
it
like,
more
man,
often. You know what I'm saying?
we should throw something together. Or we can have a
Yeah. I mean, and like I said,
a
when
monthly.
when the ideas pop up, shoot the text.
Man, we can have a monthly hate baby mama, hate ex-wife session. Like
Right.
Tommy Sotomayor or something where we just shitting on them.
For real.
All right, man.
All
Take
right.
care. Peace.
Appreciate you. Holla.